So, hi Lama, thank you so much for inviting Education UAE to this wonderful event and the rollout of the sustainable education approach. And maybe you could kind of start by telling us why did you decide to create the sustainable education approach?
Thank you for having me in this interview and for attending the event. The sustainable education approach was created to answer to a pledge that was signed. So back in 2022 at the UNESCO World Conference for Education and Care, 193 countries signed a pledge to transform early years education. And transforming early years education was deemed that important because we understand that the first 5 years of a child's life are the most critical for their brain development. And we also understand that quality life experiences at an early years they shape a child's social, emotional, and cognitive abilities for life. Yet the sector is the least supported. It receives the least funding when it comes to education sectors in general, talking about K-12 and universities. So we're trying to create a shift, a movement. We respect what was signed in the pledge, and we want to make a difference.
So, there are already pre established early years frameworks in place here, like the Reggio Emilia and the Montessori. So, what would you say makes the sustainable education approach different than these other approaches?
That's a very good question. You're right. There are very good legacy approaches like Montessori and Reggio Emilia that also date almost 100 years, and they're very strong and powerful. We've been using them all around. What's different this time is that Babilou Family commissioned an independent scientific committee that looks at the most latest research and sciences in neuroscience, epigenetics, social sciences, psychology, and they took a pool of experts in those fields to look at the most recent science, which we should use today to our benefit, and apply it alongside those legacy approaches to come up with a sustainable education approach. Because we live in a different day and time today, and the world is changing around us. We don't know what the future jobs are for our kids. There's so much changing, but also there is so much science that came out to tell us, to confirm certain practices we do, or to help us understand other things that we need to do and their importance for a child development. We should tap into that. Tap into the latest research and just adjust ourselves.
Yeah. And you mentioned that there are 32 Blossom Nursery locations all across
Yes.
the UAE. So, what did that rollout plan look like?
So it's not easy and it's an ongoing work. What we did is we did intensive trainings for our educators on the ground. Then they're very familiar with the concepts we are introducing. What is key was to help them understand that just focus on those 6 critical pillars instead of diluting our energy and our attention. If you focus on those, you will get it right. These are the most critical, and so that's the message we're trying to reinforce over and over again. Lots of training, lots of repetition, trainings either online, in person,
Right.
quizzes that will go, random phone calls that you will receive, and you'll get a question from the head of education testing your knowledge about a certain pillar. It's been quite the experience. I received one of those email quizzes and I actually took the time to answer, and I scored 100%. So my head of education was very happy and proud. But what I'm trying to say is that training is a very crucial part of the rollout. The setup of the classrooms to make sure that they respect the delivery of the 6 pillars. And the next steps is communication, repetition, which will have to be an ongoing job. Similarly, similar to how we always train our educators. Today, it will be more focused on the sustainable education approach ongoingly.
Lovely. And just to kind of a further point on that. What does success look like to you?
Success will look like once everyone can speak the same language 100%. Our families actually understanding the approach, understanding what's happening in the center, in their particular center, being able to apply that knowledge at home is powerful. And the extended community. I mean, the sustainable education approach is a book that is available for everyone. It's not exclusively a Babilou approach to use or a Blossom approach to use. Anyone can use it. Parents, educators. It's the new Montessori. If you want, you can find resources about Montessori, and you can learn about it and apply it yourself. And success for me is really the adoption of the sustainable education approach by everyone.
Okay, that's wonderful. I wish you all the best.
Thank
and
you.
Thank you so much for having this conversation with me.
Thanks a lot, and thank you for being here today.